If you're going to take the risk of running advertising online, shouldn't you get the benefits of learning from someone who's in the platforms every second of the day? Welcome to BidPixel.com's Marketing Ear Biscuits, the original podcast dedicated to digital advertising run by two Aussie guys who ride around in kangaroo pouches and drink Fosters and 4X beer.
Alrighty, Jay Janis, Chief Operating Officer of BidPixel, and myself, Dave Granfield, one of the co-founders and CEO. Let's have a chat today, mate. So we're going to talk, I want your opinions on Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and how that's going to affect Australia this year. I want to have a real good chat about an ad campaign that we've found and unpack it. It's now, full disclaimer, it's not one of our clients. We've never heard of these guys before, but I found it while I was scrolling through my feed, and we're going to unpack that today and pat them on the back. We're going to talk about agency building, so where we came from and who we were and the journey that we went on, probably the first 2 years or 3 years of our journey. And then I want to review a book for you. I've got a big fat book sitting down here, and no, it's not the Bible. I've got a big fat book down here that we're going to have a quick chat about. And then we're going to talk about ethics in our industry, mate, and how we're putting ourselves out there and polarizing and saying that we're doing things a little bit different. So, Jay, welcome to this episode. Let's have a chat about Black Friday, Cyber Monday first. So,
juicy.
When is it this year?
Looking end of November, so November 29 to the 2nd of December. A little bit later this year than last, so it kind of comes off the back of the US Thanksgiving period. So, it's looking forward to it. Last year we had some of our clients had an absolutely cracking, week. It was phenomenal.
I remember one client last year, you and I were still up at like 11 o'clock at night. We had the Shopify dashboard open in live view, and we were just watching the money tick in for them. And I think they ended up doing like 7 times a normal day, and they were already a 7-figure business. And it was just crazy watching them grow.
Oh, it was ridiculous. I mean, just texting you back and forth, going, "They've just done this and they've hit that," and
kicking goals. So that's an interesting fact, though. So let's talk about Black Friday. I can't say this fast. Black Friday, Cyber Monday in Australia. Now, we haven't adopted it as well as or as much as the US in the past, but things are kind of changing, aren't they?
Yeah, I think the world's just becoming smaller, and what we're seeing in one country filters through to another. And and the US, whether Australians like it or not, they're a big country, and it affects the buying behaviour here.
I guess at the end of the day, we might be superior where we are down here, but we're 1/10 the size of we're 1/10 the size of the US, right? So everything we do is just such a small proportion, and we're probably 5 years behind in some things. Although that bridge is getting smaller and smaller with the World Wide Webs these days. So Black Friday, Cyber Monday. How, as a Facebook or Google advertiser, should you be getting ready for it now?
Yeah, absolutely. Now's the time. So middle of September now, so you got a month and a half, if my maths is correct, or so, to kind of get ready. So, looking at your content strategy, looking at what you want to do. Are you going to run sales? Are you going to run promo codes? Are you even going to have the stock ready for them? Just being very preemptive and thoughtful and planning in it, because not only that is not only Black Friday, Cyber Monday, but it's only a couple of weeks out from Christmas too. So, it's an exciting time of year where it can really help boost, businesses' bottom line.
So let's talk about sales, right? So a Black Friday, Cyber Monday sale, if you're not doing more than like 20 or 30%, don't even bother, right? Like, people don't even bat an eyelid at a 5% or 10% off on a weekend like that. How can brands and businesses operate their business, and what's the long game or the lifetime customer value if they've only got 40% profit margin in their products? How can they sell it for 40% off?
Well, that's when you're thinking lifetime value. Like, what is that? What is your customer worth to you over the long term? Over 12 months or 5 years or 10 years. If they're coming back and they're repeatedly purchasing, $40 products every month or every 6 months, that adds up over time. And the beauty of digital is that once they're in the system and they're in your ecosystem, you can then get back to them and retarget them and continue to grow your relationship with them.
So I guess it's a top of funnel strategy almost. It's a lost leader, or you're spending money on a busy sale weekend where everyone's got their cards out ready to go, and you're not going to make anything off that sale that weekend, but you've got to delight them and you've got to have a fantastic customer experience. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I think so. And every business is different. Not every, many businesses can't afford that loss. So working out what's right, even if it's being present in that week, even if you're not offering discounts, people are active then. People are, not only is the sales around, people are aware of the sales, they're aware of the content, they're aware of this Black Friday. So get amongst it, whether you're offering a discount or not.
So one of the things we've been doing for customers in e-commerce lately is if we know they've got a sale coming up, we're actually doing advertising in the lead up about the sale. And it's interesting. I know one of the customers that we've got who's in the pet industry, we were advertising their sale coming up on a long weekend like this, but they were generating even more revenue in the lead up without discounting anything, purely by putting the ads out there. And it was actually surprising that they did almost just as much in sales on full price ticketed items before the sale than they did on the weekend of the actual sale. What sort of strategy would you recommend for people in the lead up, on the weekend, and the follow up after?
Oh, gee, lead up. During, I think, is just being specific to your audience, calling your audience out. Who are they? How do they relate to you? How do they relate to your products or to the brand, and calling them out and how you can benefit them. And that can go through a 7-day nurture process or a 2-week nurture journey over leading up to it. Black Friday's coming up, get ready for it. During the Black Friday event, and then the following Cyber Monday event, and then afterwards, if you're running with video or lead gen, then you've already captured their details. You've captured them in an audience that you can then get back in front of and remarket to. So.
Perfect. All right. So let's unpack this a little bit more over the next coming weeks. We'll start talking about Christmas as well. Let's break down ad creative and asset creation, when to start getting involved. Well, you need to get involved now, you said, with your video creation, your image creation. You need to make sure you've got stock on the shelves ready to go. But let's break down how we would then build out some ad campaigns and strategies for a long weekend sale like a Black Friday, Cyber Monday. Mate, I want to change tactics now a little bit. I want to, as part of the segments that we do, I want to talk about what makes this ad campaign great. And I don't want to discuss one of our clients' ad campaigns. It's just what's something that you or I or one of our team sees as we're scrolling through Facebook. We're there every day looking at it. I want to share one that I found today, actually. It's from a company called Shift. So Shift is, from my quick research on them, they do a single inbox for your Gmail. So when you've got multiple Gmails, it kind of collates it all together and makes it work for you. The thing I was looking for when I was looking for an ad that's made me think it was great was the use of creative. So these guys have done a fairly substantial video, which they've done some good motion graphic overlays. It's a really clear infographic of what they do. It's really educating customers about what their product is. Look, ad copy, there's lots of variations in their ad copy, and I'll show you some of it in a second, but they could do a little bit more with their ad copy, I believe. But what kind of got my attention was lots of engagement, a heck of a lot of comments for a single ad. So 220 comments and 20 shares. So look, there was some comments. There's a little bit of negativity in there, but that's Facebook advertising, right? You're never going to get away from that. There's a lot of people asking about free trials and a lot of people asking about the particular product. So I jumped into their ads library in Facebook just to have a look at how they're running their ad campaigns. And as you can see, tons of different ads, lots of different ad creatives, a lot of video work. In fact, everything that they're running is video. So they're really investing time into their creative. And one thing I noticed, I was trying to find that particular ad. So it looks like it's here, but that's not it, because that's a portrait. So they're building out story-centric or Facebook verticals, Instagram vertical ads, and they've got different variations of that. But you scroll down and then you start finding the ad that we were looking at. So remember, we're in square format or a 1x1, and we've found it there. But I don't know if many people, when they look in their ads library notice that, there's 5 different variations of this ad, and they're running dynamic creative. So these guys, whoever's running these ads, is testing and measuring and finding the best options. So mate, hats off for what makes this ad campaign great. I just wanted to call out Shift. Have no idea who these guys are, but it looks like they're testing and measuring. They're using dynamic creative. Lots of their ads have only been running for a couple of weeks. So the fact that their ads are fairly new and they've got 220 comments on it, it looks like they're probably driving a bit of a top of funnel strategy as well. There's a few that are a little bit older, a month older here, but the fact that they're probably doing page choice engagement, they're obviously then looking for conversions and people to click through, and then doing dynamic creative. So Shift, well done.
Well done. And not just to interject, and a side note, which we weren't planning on talking about, but I think a lot of businesses don't even understand that you've got the ability to look at a Facebook ads library. As a business, you can, and as a business owner, you can jump on and look at any of your competitors' Facebook pages and look at their ads library and see exactly what they're running.
That's it.
It's a great way for customer, competitor analysis.
I kind of took that for granted because we do it every day, but let's actually break down how you can do that. So let's go to Shift's Facebook page. Here they are here. If you scroll down on the right-hand side, there's a section called Page Transparency, and you click See More, and that will come up and it'll tell you if they're running ads. So this page is currently running advertising for ads, and you can go to the library, and that's where we were looking at just then. It opens up and actually gives you a bit of an insight. And like I said, you can see countries that they're running ads in. You can see ad copywriting. You can see ad creative. You can't see a lot of other metrics other than that, but you can tell what kind of strategy this brand is using when they're running their advertising on Facebook and Instagram. So Shift, well done. If you guys ever watch this, thumbs up. All right.
A little, a crowd pleasing, a crowd cheer sound behind that.
Ivan, our video editor, can you add a crowd cheering? It'll thumbs up into that for us. Thank you very much, mate. All right. Next thing we're going to talk about is agency building 101. Do you want to share our story, or do you want me to?
Yeah, either or. Well, you can jump in. So I came on board BidPixel a couple of years ago, I think, or coming up to a couple of years. It feels like forever ago. We're all family.
Well, by the hours that you work, it'd be about 10 years ago.
But when I came on, it was off the back of I guess moving from the previous agency's name over to BidPixel, and going from full service to niching right down to Facebook and Instagram, or Facebook platform only advertising. I think what the guys found, and me coming on board, was that it's very easy to be the jack of all trades and master of none, especially when there's so many moving parts. And so I think the decision was made to kind of let's niche right down and let's become the best of breed. Let's focus, put all our eggs into the one basket and focus heavily, on the Facebook platform, and understanding it as thoroughly as we can and being as good as we can, and offering the best service.
Just got to add there, hasn't that worked out fantastic for us?
Oh, it's been ridiculous. As Dave said, I work a lot, but we love it. It's been an amazing journey, and I'm a firm believer that skills transfer. If you can niche down, you can become brilliant in one thing. That'll then translate to other areas of your life, and in the digital world, that translates to other platforms as well. So so we went back to the Facebook platform, and best of breed for that, and then build our teams up, build our our clientele. Numbers rose dramatically, and once we had our strong systems and processes in place, we were able to start going, okay, now's time to as a business and as an offering to spread the net further and look into Google and LinkedIn, Snapchat, etc.
Yeah, awesome. So Liam, amazing co-founder of BidPixel and what was 7 and 7 Digital. He's also a good friend of mine, good friend of Jay's. We started and we built up to about 12 or 13 staff, and we had web designers, SEO guys, front-end, back-end developers, and it was that full-service agency model. And what got to us was we were in red ocean. There's this amazing book called Blue Ocean Strategy, and it's about swimming out a little bit deeper and getting further away from the sharks and finding that niche or that room to breathe where the sharks aren't feeding. And for us at the time, it was Facebook advertising. We went from 12 or 13 staff down to literally 2 of us. Liam and I just cut everything and went down to the co-founders again and just spawned up and went again. It didn't take us long before we had to bring Jay on because we were getting too busy and we're getting a lot of respect in what we were doing. We started winning awards for what we were doing, and that was 18 months, 2 years, however long it was ago now. We're back up to 12 staff and we've got an amazing team of ad buyers and now Google ad buyers, and Josh, who we'll interview in a week or two, who's our conversion rate optimization guy. All he does is help customers get better results on their websites, and it's actually pretty cool. And as Jay said, we're moving into LinkedIn, Snapchat, Spotify, native ads. And Jay, you're going to talk about tomorrow, maybe. We're going to have a chat about TikTok advertising and where that's going.
Yeah. And it's exciting. Like what I've, I guess I value so much about, the process of niching right down is as we've grown, we've tried to keep that same mentality is, we want to be the best. We don't want to be, dabbling in everything. We want to be the best at everything that we put our hands to, which is why we brought on ex-Google staff, who literally work in the Google Ads platform for Google on staff now is amazing. So that we know that we're, we want to be at the cutting edge, and it's been such a fun, fast journey.
Oh, that's it. And it's been the team that we've got's fantastic. Look, so it's cool times ahead. So while we are kind of broadening out our horizons again, we're being very specific to stay in a performance kind of based model. So no, we don't want to build your website. No, we don't want to do SEO. We're not really interested in doing your organic posting. But if it's all about ad spend online and getting a return on your investment, that's 100% our game and what we love doing.
Yeah.
Cool. We'll share more about that as well later on, kind of where we're going and some other stories about what we've done. And actually, I want to share some stuff about how we've failed, right? Like, let's be open and say when things have just kicked our ass and not worked, right? Because that's all part of building a business, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. So that was agency building. The next section we want to talk about,
your book review.
My book review. So this is a book that I reference all the time. It actually sits on my desk. If you don't know who Tim Ferriss is, get out from under a rock and Google him. There's this amazing website called Google. Tim Ferriss has
heard that's all right.
Yeah, there's a good website called Let Me Google That For You if you don't want to use Google. So Tools of Titans is Tim Ferriss. He's written quite a few books. He's known for the 4-hour work week. He spent a fair bit of time. He's like 2 years or something writing this book. And it's really just a snippet out of some of the biggest names in the world. There's iconic people. There's even down to Navy SEALs that you might not have ever heard of, but just, President Obama's in there, but just hints and tips about healthy, wealthy, and wise. So it's split into those 3 sections: how to be healthier, how to be wealthier, and how to be wiser. And he just interviews people. So Tools of Titans, Tim will get the royalty check from this one day soon, but fantastic book. And you can't read it all at once, right? Like, look at the thing, it's massive. But just when you need some inspiration in your health or your wealth or your wisdom, that's a pretty cool book to pick up and have a read a chapter or 2 from. And he actually, in the foreword of it, he tells you, do not read it all at once. Just if you don't like a section, skip it and come back to it later.
Yeah, so much benefit in just taking that time out and just, I don't know, investing into yourself, whether it's through books or podcasts like this one, or
listening to podcasts.
Yeah, like I listen to them all the time, and just the amount of value and insight that you get is just phenomenal. So,
hey Dean, can you chuck me that book that's on your desk? We'll talk about this book as well. This book is what the team's doing. We'll do this another day, but Brene Brown's Dare to Lead. That's a cool one that we're all sinking our teeth into at the moment. We might do that later on in a couple of weeks as well. All right, mate, last section for the day. Let's talk about ethics. A pretty dirty word in our industry, eh?
Yeah.
Let's talk about how our industry polarizes itself. You're either a show pony promising what you can't deliver. Pretty much that's what it all is, right? So what are we
we're marketers at the end of the day.
Some people are just good at marketing and some people are good at bullshitting, to be honest. So ethics, how are we polarizing our marketplace at the moment, and when do we say no?
Oh, gosh. If we don't see a clear path, like our going back to the red ocean, blue ocean strategy, we want to make sure we're seeing blue ocean for our people who want to work with us as well. We don't take everybody on. if they're not ready to invest in digital because of who knows, whatever reason, the website's not right, or they've got all their eggs in one basket and they're not doing anything else, and they expect us to be the be all end all and solve their business problems, or they don't have the mindset of of digital, then we would rather say, no, you're better off spending your money elsewhere.
100%. And we did that recently, actually. So Kirsten, she runs a business called My Big Adventure. I'll put a link to the testimonial that she gave us in the YouTube comments, and find it on our website. It'll be in the blog post. There's a video there from her. But she came to us after being burnt by another agency, and they'd taken a lot of money off her and not performed, and she wanted us to fix it. She wanted us to get her results, and we actually said no. We said, you're not ready. Your website's not converting. You don't have enough proven strategy. She won't mind me saying this. She didn't have enough products on the shelf to actually run advertising for. Like, if we turned that fire hose of ads on and got success for her, she wouldn't have been able to fulfill the bloody orders. So I think for us, that ethical side of the business is something that we're truly trying to focus on. And it's something that a lot of people aren't doing. They regurgitate information. Everyone these days in our space seems to want to say how many millions of dollars they're making, or what car they're driving, and it's like, it's just not needed. Right? Just get down to business and get people results.
Yeah, we talked about it yesterday, just that the level of transparency that I think, and really hope that, that the industry is moving into needs to be deeper. I had a call with a client the other day who wanted to work with us, and because they weren't getting results. And when we dove down and in our discussion realized that, the agency they're currently with they're running the ads under the agency's account, not under the client's account. So at the end of the day, the client leaves, they spent several $100,000 in advertising money, and they don't know any data. That sort of stuff is just wrong.
There's nothing more unethical than not giving your client their data, right, and not showing your client what you're doing. And it's actually against terms of service of Facebook. So there's these advertising agencies out there not sharing this data, and it's actually against the rules of the platform that they're advertising on. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So Jay, mate, you're awesome. Thanks so much for your time. Guys,
thank you.
If you like this, we're going to push it across Facebook. We'll chuck it in a few groups, as many groups as we can until we get banned. We'll chuck it in our own groups so we don't get banned from that. Look up Agency Secrets by BidPixel. It'll be on YouTube. It'll be on the podcast platforms. We'd love to know. Comment, review it, like it, share it. Tell us it's crap if it's crap, and that way we can improve it. But we're going to keep doing these, and it won't just always be Jay and I. We'll get some of the other boys in, and some of the rest of the team. We'll get some external people in. Let's talk about things like the legal side of an agency and the legal side of running advertising. Let's talk about the wellness and the mindset of what you have to do. But
yeah, and if you have questions, let us know. If you
have a question, post it below on whatever platform you've got this on, except for podcast, obviously. Hunt us down on Facebook or Instagram. And ask your questions and we'll answer them. We've actually set aside some time to do shout outs and talk about questions. Next Monday, I think, is the next time we're actually going to go through questions that people ask us. So guys, Jay, you're awesome. Everyone else that watches, no one will. It's the second episode, so who am I? But bless you guys heaps. Thanks for tuning in. Talk to you soon.
Cheers.